Yes. I think this will work. Yes. Yes. Trying to turn on this. So many wires. I think it starts here. What's up, one person? How you doing? About to start the PlayStation 2. What's up, four people? Got the PlayStation 2s and controllers. Don't I know that you might ask, like, why you got a PlayStation 2? Does he got an Xbox? I mean, does he got a PlayStation 5? What's up, 18 people? Yes, I do. I have a PlayStation 5. But today, my family member in law had purchased us a a memory stick. I know you guys probably remember the memory stick for the PlayStation 2. Um, Let me show you guys something. Hold up. Let me switch over. So, yep, got the PlayStation 2 rocking. You know, we also have the Xbox. We definitely have the Xbox 360. You know, these are all my girlfriend's system. Now I try to tell her that, PlayStation 5 actually, you can actually download games. Sorry for the way it looks. Apparently, the pieces don't want to go back on. Pieces don't want to go back on. But I try to tell her that if we have like a PlayStation Plus, we get like PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on games on here. But she's very, very persistent. Very persistent on this PlayStation 2. So I just want to test it. Just want to test it. Test this bad boy uh, and stuff. I know you'll probably hear a little music noise in the background, but we're in New York City. New York City has like people that loves just making all sorts of sounds at this time. Um, it's like almost 10 o'clock in New York City. Oh, look, it's on. So this game, I think this is what did I put in here? Hold on, let me turn it down a little bit. So I think this is Ghost Recon or some playing game that she had. See, if y'all know what it is, let me know. What's up, two people? Yep. Well, it will tell us anyway. It'll definitely tell us. Oh, Look at that. I do want to like broadcast this game, but I don't have like a tripod. Oh, Fireblade. So I don't have like a tripod just yet. We're purchasing one. We're also purchasing a microphone. So when I start playing my PS5 games, I know y'all probably see like The Sims. If y'all go on my live channel, well not live channel, but on the live side of my channel, you'll see like Sims 4 that I just finished playing. Also, I have a couples channel. I have a couples channel going on with my girlfriend. Her name is Grace. Grace Gorgeous. Yes, Grace Gorgeous. I don't know if some of you guys are from her channel, but me and her has a couple channel. Grace Yella, I think it's 45. That's our channel. We just started. We don't have that many subscriptions, so we can't really go live. But we just dropped our introduction video. Now, my friend said that when we was making the video, we looked kind of nervous. I don't think we was nervous, but hey. Anyway, I have a couples channel going on. I also have my gaming going on here. I'm also coming up with other ideas. Um, I got so many things going on. So many things going on. But I'm trying to have a little time management. Just a little time management. Um, as you see, y'all see the teddy bears. That's my girl's teddy bears. Uh, Stuff like that. What's up? What's up, Keegan? But, yep. Um, so yeah, I am trying to make couple of other channels, I mean not other channels, but other videos, come up with different ideas. It's very hard because I have talent, but I'm afraid to show it, you know. I can spit like a little bit of funny stuff, but my stuff is more like house comedy, a little bit of house comedy. But I'm going to try to register that within my games. I'm going to try to register it with my games. So this way, like, when you're playing Sims and you like the guy in the brain or whatever, and you're talking for your character or whatever, that's what I'm gonna do. So I got that in stores. Um, so hopefully everything will go as planned, as planned. What's up, five? What's up, five people? Hopefully everything will go as planned. Nancy, okay. I know 144. I don't know if it's my camera or your camera, but on my side, everything looks very clear. Everything looks very, very clear on this side. You know. Um, Thank you for the sub, Keegan. Thank you. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you for the 2 likes. Thank you so much. What's up, 3 people? How y'all doing? Welcome to my channel. I don't know if you guys are new. Some of y'all probably old. But if y'all are new, check out some of my videos. I have baseball content, baseball video game content. I know I have been too much into it because I'm in the process of making a new character. In the process of making a new character. My last character, I played him on GOAT mode as a pitcher. Oh man, and let me tell y'all something. Being a pitcher and playing a GOAT mode, there's never a real strikeout going on. Every time I threw it to the spot that I know that the hitter can't hit, somehow, some way they find ways of hitting the ball. But that's okay. That is totally okay. You know. Um, so I decided to make a whole new character and play him under All-Star mode, which is more smoother, casual. I can get more strikeouts. I can play in serious situations like in GOAT mode. If I pitch 56 pitches in 4 innings, the coach coming in and taking me out. The manager is just coming in and taking me out. Like, bro, what if I get better in the fifth inning, the sixth inning, the seventh inning? But no, you want to take me out. So I seen that I wasn't getting many wins either. It was a lot of games. Like the team I was playing for was Cleveland Guardians. They play like the Mets. They play like the Mets now. No run support. It's like the whole entire game. Every game I played good up into the fourth inning. Still, no score. All of a sudden, my opponents, batters, got 4 runs against me. Still, my team ain't winning. So I had to do everything all over again. So now I think I play for Houston Astros. But I'm in the double A. Um, I'm in double A. I'm in double A. So hopefully I could pitch better, get to the triple A, and showcase myself at the show. And also I got the Sims 4 running, so I'm very, very excited about that game. I've been wanting to play that game since I was a kid. Never got to really play it. I played it on my phone. Maybe Sims 2. I played it on my phone, but it wasn't the best of gameplay because my phone was going in and out, and then it was using big storage, a lot of gigabytes on my phone at the time. I couldn't purchase an iPhone or a Galaxy phone, so I stopped playing the game. But I'm a big fan of the Sims game. I've been a huge fan of the Sims game since it first came out on PC. Everybody know what I'm talking about. The Sims One, the very first one. Um, I think it's one of the first real RPG games where you can like build a house, put different furniture, built in technology. Like now, the new one, you don't really have to purchase certain things. You could just upgrade it, but you have to hit a certain level. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. I'm also excited about the couples channel. The couples channel is running really smoothly. It's going to be running smoothly. I'm still trying to get some subs. Um, so if anything, I don't have my other phone, but let me check. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm gonna hide the camera, y'all, and mute my. Okay, I'm back. What's up, two people? What's up? What's up? So, uh, I want to also say that I have social media accounts. Um, so Yella Dean, Yella space my last name Dean. I want you guys, I want you guys to go and follow, add me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Search for me. I also have Thread. Search for me there, and I have a Twitch account. I do have a Twitch account. Um, it's also I don't know if I changed it, but I've been trying to change it. It's been staying on. I'm still dizzy, but I've been trying to get it back to Yella Dean. Um, so yeah, go ahead and find me there. I should be there on that channel. It's up to people. But I have a lot of content coming in, especially on the couples channel. Especially I have a TikTok, Yella Dean TikTok. Go find me there, where I post content. Not really content, but I just post things that I see every day. I just dropped a video on TikTok, so go find that. But I'm always everywhere. I'm everywhere, and I'm gonna be doing more stuff. So just bear with me. Um, Also, I'm getting a mic. I'm getting a microphone. Getting a microphone. Getting a microphone. Yes, I'm getting a microphone. So things is going to be a little bit louder, and hopefully, y'all will enjoy yourselves. I hope that you guys will enjoy yourself. But come on, ask questions. No disrespectful questions, please. No disrespectful questions. No disrespectful questions. Let's see. Let's see. You know, the crazy thing is, like, social media don't like YouTube. Let me say YouTube. It would be so cool to play like regular music while you're on your live stream, but all this copyright and all these issues that go on, you can't really enjoy yourself. So like Twitch kind of allow you to do that, and TikTok allow you to do that too, um, which is pretty dope. At the same time, it's like, come on, YouTube, really? Y'all are one of the biggest platforms there is. I know y'all can find y'all way of just paying these artists, allowing us to use their music within certain, videos that we make. Because it would go real hard. I would like to play, a couple of low shimmy music while I'm playing the game or while the video is playing or whatever. I would love to do that. So I'm trying to see if I could go live on TikTok. Let's see. Oh my God, this guy fell from. Hold on. I want you guys to see this. I don't know. So let me see. Let me see if I could go live on TikTok. His phone right here is the one that takes a long time. Uh, uh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So if you just joining us, I was just explaining. Well, the video, I'm gonna post this video um later on, probably later on. But I was just explaining that I got some stuff coming along. Um, there we go. About to go live on TikTok. This will be my first time going live on TikTok. What's up, two people? So hopefully it works. Oh ho. Ho ho. Go live. Uh, I like how they. Oh wait, so I can't really go live. Not on this one. Maybe. Let me try on my tablet. I got like mad technologies. So I'll take this away. Hmm. Uh, oh yeah, what you see back here, this is, hold on. This is a canopy bag. Canopy bag, yes. Um, Let me tell y'all something. People be on TikTok all day, all day. It's millions of people on TikTok. Come on. Let's see. TikTok. Okay. All right. Ooh, that's too close. Wait. So, hmm, trying to go live or something else. Okay. It's telling me no. Having trouble with going live on TikTok. I don't know. Allow. It don't mind me watching videos, but it just like don't want me to watch. Um, don't want me to go live. I guess. Okay, live. All right. Uh-uh. Let's see. Okay. Confirm image. I mean, I get why they want you to confirm age. Oh, okay. Confirm age with PIN code. With PIN code. Okay. This is why I wanted to go live on my phone. Okay. Landscape. I gotta find my ID. Give me a minute. So I went to go get my grape aloe vera juice. Yes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with aloe vera, but it's very good. Very good. What's up, two people? Okay. Let me see. Oh man, I remember these games where you had to like text and you didn't have the keyboard popping up on the screen. It's crazy. Wow. Would you like to save? Yep. Save it to the memory card. Do not remove the memory card. Nowadays it says do not turn off your screen or shut the game down. Mission complete. Continue. Campaign. Campaign 1. That's mission 1. So, that's one.
The Vendetta attack gunship is the latest augmentation to our airborne attack forces. It is important that you familiarize yourself with it before engaging hostiles. Your first objective is to learn the flight controls, practice combat scenarios, and complete your stealth training. Brooks will be your combat instructor. She will brief you in Fireblade's direct action tactics. Let's get you flying. To start your engines and take off, use the right analog stick. Wait a moment for your blades to spin up. Your right analog stick controls altitude and sideways motion. The left analog stick controls your forward and backwards motion, as well as the direction you face. Spend a little time flying around the base. Get used to the controls. Then collect the 3 power-ups around the base before meeting your combat instructor to the southwest.
Is there a problem? If not, please execute the instructions I have given you.
Oh yeah, I ain't getting out of this game.
To rearm your chopper, you must fly directly over the power-ups, which are marked on your radar as green dots. Rendezvous with me to the southwest of your current position.
Can't play that game. Oof.
on my soul. Legs on my soul. It don't matter. Put the camera on me. To stop recording, if you don't want something in your frame, just hold your hand up like this. It's gonna stop tracking. Okay? It's gonna stop tracking. If you want to continue tracking, do this, and you right back tracking. You right back in business, girl. And let me show you something. Get on this other side. Come on, around. Come on. Keep pedal. Keep pedal. Come on around. Come on, yeah. Come on around. It's a 360 rotation. You don't need nobody to. I'm up, don't hate, get up with me. Big sauce, fast cars, know you hit me. I'm up, don't hate, get up with me. Big sauce, fast cars, know you hit me.
How y'all doing?
existed has done drugs. No exceptions. The ancient Sumerians, the Greeks, the Aztecs, medieval monks, Victorian, every single human civilization that has ever existed has done drugs. No exceptions. The ancient Sumerians, the Greeks, the Aztecs, medieval monks, Victorian housewives, your grandmother, people have been hunting for ways to alter their consciousness since before they had writing, before they had agriculture, possibly before they were fully anatomically modern human. And the story of how we got from a prehistoric shaman huffing smoke in a cave to a Bayer pharmaceutical rep cheerfully marketing heroin as a children's cough suppressant is one of the most genuinely wild rides in all of history. This is not a story about moral failure or weakness. It is a story about curiosity, medicine, commerce, empire, and the very human desire to feel something different for a while. The history of drugs is also the history of civilization itself, and it starts a lot earlier than you think. The original trip. About 13,000 years ago, somewhere in what is now Algeria, someone mixed a pigment from minerals and painted a mushroom on a cave wall. The Tassili cave paintings in Algeria depict what appear to be anthropomorphic figures covered in or associated with mushrooms. Researchers date these images to between 7,000 and 9,000 years old, and some scholars argue they represent some of the earliest evidence of psychedelic use in human history. Whether that specific painting proves mushroom use or just mushroom reverence, we will never know for certain. But the broader picture of prehistoric drug use is well established. Archaeological evidence from across Asia shows cannabis seeds appearing in dig sites dating to around 8,100 BC. Coca leaves were being chewed in South America from at least 6,000 BC, which means humans were getting mild cocaine buzz roughly 4,000 years before the
So basically, they needed to stay high to go through whatever they do. Like the civilization needed to just get high and just cope. Something that we're doing now. A lot of people that will get high, will smoke. There are people that pop pills, people who shoot stuff in their nose, and you realize that people can't face reality. You can't face reality due to what's going on. So you try to cover that pain, even with issues, personal issues, covering up that pain because you don't want to face it all the time. No, once you notice that you're coming down and all those thoughts come into play, it's like, okay, I need to find something to keep me numb from the things that I'm facing, or like physical pain, so I don't have to feel that pain anymore. I know people that take nerve pain, and sometimes they'll take more than what they're supposed to because the nerve within their, whatever, their nerves is exposed. So when your nerves is really exposed, the pain is hard to like think of other things because that nerve pain is like the worst pain of them all, you know. So shout out to them. I know people that have psoriasis, and they try getting high just to numb the itchy and all that stuff that they go through. So we can't really say people shouldn't be doing drugs. They need it to cope with what they're going on, whatever's going on in their world.
Wheel was invented in Mesopotamia. Not that anyone was complaining about the lack of wheels at that point. They had other things going on. The current scientific understanding is that psychoactive plant use is not some aberration in human behavior. Evolutionary biologist Nick Longrich and others have argued that altering consciousness was essentially a species norm so widespread across cultures and time periods that labeling it deviant requires ignoring thousands of years of human behavior, which, to be fair, humans are very good at doing. The evidence gets richer as we move history, and it almost immediately gets ridiculous. The joy plant and the Sumerians. Around 3,400 BC, the Sumerians of ancient Mesopotamia were the first civilization to leave written records of drug cultivation. They called the opium poppy Hulgil, which translates roughly to joy plant. And you have to give them credit for honesty in branding. No pharma company in history has been that straightforward about its product. The Sumerians cultivated poppies in the fertile valleys between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. From there, knowledge of the plant passed to the Assyrians, then to the Babylonians, then to the Egyptians, spreading through the ancient world.
They don't want you to know about it.
That's crazy.
Did you know you might get
Joy
a big
kill.
cash payout if you
Wow.
were in a car accident up to a
They
year?
named it after, so it's like a happy plant. All you gotta do is just take one or two, and you know everything seems so calm and so happy. That's crazy. I wouldn't do that. I definitely wouldn't want to do that.
Along trade routes that doubled as pharmaceutical supply chains. The Ebers Papyrus, an Egyptian medical text, contains prescriptions involving opium. One recipe recommended giving crying infants a preparation of poppy to make them cease their crying immediately and forever. Reading that sentence requires a moment to sit with. The ancient Egyptians were not casually poisoning babies, to be clear. Infant mortality was catastrophic in the ancient world, and the logic of quieting a sick child in pain made practical sense to people with no other options. But the line between medicinal and recreational use of opium blurred early and stayed blurry. By the time the Greeks and Romans got involved, opium was medicine, religious tool, recreational substance, and poison weapon all at once. Homer mentions a drug called nepenthe in the Odyssey, described as something that puts grief and sorrow to sleep. Scholars have debated for centuries what nepenthe actually was, but opium is the leading candidate. If ancient Greeks were self-medicating their post-Trojan War trauma with opiates, well, that is a very human response to very bad events. Cannabis gets an ancient medical license. Around 2000 BC, the legendary Chinese emperor Shen Neng reportedly prescribed cannabis tea for conditions including rheumatism, malaria, gout, and what the texts vaguely describe as absent-mindedness. Whether Shen Neng was a real person or a mythologized figure is medical use of cannabis is historically documented, and Shen Ben Xiaojing, a foundational Chinese pharmacological text, treats cannabis as legitimate medicine. In ancient India, cannabis had both medicinal and spiritual roles. The Vedic texts, some of the oldest religious writings in the world, reference a sacred drink called soma, whose exact composition has been debated for over a century. Some researchers believe soma was a preparation containing cannabis. Others argue for fly agaric mushrooms, and various other plants. The honest answer is nobody knows, and the priests who made it apparently kept their recipe extremely well guarded. What is clear is that cannabis use spread from Central outward across the ancient world, carried by the Scythian nomads, traded along the Silk Road, adopted into religious practice by Hindus, Zoroastrians, and eventually, Sufi Muslims. The plant was so universally useful, so easy to grow, and so reliably effective at altering mood and perception, that virtually every civilization it encountered adopted it in some form. It is genuinely funny that for most of human history, cannabis was considered a mundane and practical plant, roughly equivalent to how we think of aspirin, and it took the 20th century to reclassify it as one of the most dangerous substances on Earth. History has a sense of humor, even when legislators do not. Scythians at the steam bath. The Greek historian Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BC, described a Scythian funeral ritual that reads more like a fraternity hazing than a religious ceremony. After burying their dead, the Scythians would build a small tent, place a dish of red-hot stones inside, and throw hemp seeds onto the coals. Then they would get inside and breathe the vapor until, in Herodotus's words, they howled with pleasure. For a long time, historians were not entirely sure whether to believe Herodotus on this one.
They howl with pleasure. That's crazy. So basically, they was just they. What he said was they would put. Hold on, let me go back. It's called the Scythian vapor bath.
Described a Scythian funeral ritual that reads more like a fraternity hazing than a religious ceremony. After burying their dead, the Scythians would build a small tent, place a dish of red-hot stones inside, and throw hemp seeds onto the coals. Then they would get inside and breathe the vapor until, in Herodotus's words, they howled with pleasure. For a long
Meaning that they got so high that they were like they probably didn't even know that they was howling. They probably thought they was like humming and then they got loud What if I would have heard that back in the day? If I grew up in that time and would have heard that back in the day, And would it probably, because you know it probably smelled outside the tent, like that little smell probably came out the tent, and you're like, what is that smell? It smell like coal, something burning, and you realize you hear like a group of people humming, and then you open the tent and you realize all of them is high as as a they're just high, they just gone. And you're like, okay, this is weird. I gotta get out of here. Gotta go to my tent and go to sleep because this is too much. This is way too much.
Time, historians were not entirely sure whether to believe Herodotus on this one. He is not always reliable. The man also wrote about ants the size of foxes guarding gold in India, so his credibility has limits. But in the 1940s, excavations of Scythian burial mounds in the Altai Mountains of Russia and Kazakhstan, sensors, hemp seeds, and small tents, exactly as described. The archaeological record confirmed what it looked like exaggeration. The Scythians were doing exactly what Herodotus said they were doing. The Scythians were also, incidentally, some of the most effective mounted warriors in the ancient world. So, the next time someone tells you that drugs make people useless, you can point to a culture of skilled, feared, nomadic warriors who apparently had a ritualized hotbox ceremony as part of their religious practice. Context matters. Cannabis was probably reaching ancient Greece and the Mediterranean through Scythian trade routes, which means the next entry in this story might not be entirely coincidental. The Greeks drank something extremely interesting. Every year for roughly 2,000 years, tens of thousands of ancient Greeks made a pilgrimage to the town of Eleusis, near Athens, to participate in a religious ceremony called the Eleusinian Mysteries. The ceremonies were sacred to the goddess Demeter and her daughter Persephone, and they were kept so secret that initiates faced the death penalty for revealing what happened inside. For 2 millennia, barely anyone talked. What we know is that participants drank a special ritual beverage called kykeon, described in ancient texts as a mixture of water, barley, and pennyroyal mint. And then, by all accounts, they had experiences so profound and transformative that multiple ancient writers described the mysteries as the most significant event of their lives. Sophocles called participants fortunate. Cicero wrote, Athens had given humanity nothing greater than the mysteries. Pindar described the initiate as blessed, because he has seen these things. In 1978, classical scholar Carl Ruck, psychedelics researcher Albert Hoffman, who actually synthesized LSD, and philosopher Gordon Wasson proposed in a book called The Road to Eleusis that the kykeon was psychoactive. Specifically, they argued it contained ergot, a fungus that grows on barley and contains alkaloids closely related to LSD. Recent archaeological work at a site associated with the mysteries in Spain found traces of ergot in a chalice and between the teeth of a human jawbone, adding some physical evidence to a hypothesis that remains contested but no longer seems crazy. If the Eleusinian mysteries were essentially an ergot trip supervised by priests, then 2,000 years of Greek civilization, and much of the philosophical tradition of Western thought was being partially shaped by people having chemically induced mystical experiences.
Yep, that's what it was. That's what it was. Because a lot of those priests used to say like, "Oh, God came to me and told me you are this or that third, whatever the case may be." In reality, they was in the back getting drunk off some psychedelic drink that they kind of invented back in the day. So we got to also look at history. Well, all these messages that came, do you think that these people were like getting drunk or getting high and they was just hearing things in their own brain or seeing things in their own brain? Like, let's say, for instance, the person that first wrote the book, the Bible, we all know what I'm talking about when I say the book. The Bible, the person that made the Bible came up with all these information, how the world began, who was God, um, who was these, who was Mary, Joseph, the Philippines, and all of that. How did that person knew about all of this stuff? You got to think about it. Was he drinking or getting high? Back in the day, they did had like poppy seeds and all this other stuff that they used to find and plants and within the grounds and the mountains and stuff, and they was trying out these things. And you know the person that was writing the book, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like there were like some sort of there was some sort of uh imagination going on. Like this was his thoughts, this was what he saw while he was getting high. He saw God, and he saw a man talk to Joseph. He saw this guy. He saw a man controlling sheeps, and he saw that, you know, Adam and Eve went against God and all that. So we gotta really think to ourselves, like, what is true and what is not true.
Socrates was an initiate. So was Marcus Aurelius. This information does something interesting to how you read Plato. The American
I wanted to be surrounded by my kids while I share with you guys actually a really serious announcement.
The Americas had their own whole thing going. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in Mesoamerica in the 16th century, they found something that genuinely unsettled them. A thriving drug culture embedded entirely within religious practice, and significantly more sophisticated than anything they had left behind in Europe. The Aztecs called psilocybin mushrooms teonanacatl, which translates to flesh of the gods. These mushrooms were consumed at major religious
Flesh of the gods. You hear that? Flesh of the gods. Basically, they got these mushrooms that they were taking, and whatever message that they got in their own head, they brung it amongst their people, and they people followed every word that they said. So a lot of civilizations was kind of messed up because of drugs,
ceremonies,
because of psychedelics.
coronations, and festivals, primarily by priests and nobility as a means of divine communication. Spanish friar Bernardino de Sahagún documented their use in the 16th century, describing ceremonies where the mushrooms were eaten at dawn with honey, and participants reportedly wept, had visions, and communed with supernatural beings. The Catholic Church, unsurprisingly, declared this absolutely unacceptable and attempted to suppress it. The
Wow.
practice went underground but never fully disappeared. Peyote, the small cactus containing mescaline, had been used by indigenous cultures in northern Mexico and the southwestern United States for at least 5,000 years. Aztec priests used it for divination. The Huichol people consider it sacred.
Don't you know, like I just said earlier, don't you know that a lot of wars, a lot of like, you know, religious empires, everything was connected, was like secretly connected to a lot of this drug issue. Like there were people that was back then that were really taking drugs and that were coming to others and just coming up with all these fabrications. And you know it's just weird how no one really investigate. I guess 'cause back then there wasn't no such thing as investigating any of these issues, but a lot of these wars back then started off because of people was on drugs.
To this day, archaeological evidence of peyote use in Texas dates to roughly 3,700 years ago, making it one of the oldest confirmed psychedelic rituals in the Americas. The coca leaf was not cocaine, not in the way we think of cocaine today. It was a mild stimulant used across the Andes for thousands of years, providing energy at altitude, suppressing hunger and cold, and playing a central role in religious and social rituals. Inca priests chewed coca while communicating with deities. Laborers chewed it to get through grueling agricultural work at high altitude.
Wow.
It was, essentially, the sacred energy drink of a civilization that built Machu Picchu. What the Europeans would eventually do to it was something else entirely. Tobacco, meanwhile, gets overlooked as a drug because we have largely desacralized it into a simple addiction product. But in pre-Columbian North America, tobacco was a highly psychoactive substance used in concentrated forms during shamanic ceremonies, sometimes smoked in quantities large enough to induce hallucinations and out-of-body experiences.
Wow.
When you're
That's crazy because people nowadays kind of say that tobacco is not a drug. Tobacco is a drug. It's the number one drug in the world. that is addictive. Cigarettes. I see a lot of people smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes until I started dating my girlfriend now. But before I was with her, I used to smoke packs and packs of cigarettes, packs of Newports or whatever cigarettes that I could get my hand on. Even with Black and Mouse, I used to smoke. But what I realized was whenever I used to smoke it, like if I used to smoke a cigarette for the first time, like when I first woke up, I used to feel this kind of calm motion in my head for like a good 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And then I'm like still trying to search for that in less than a minute or two. So I'm like, continue to smoking this cigarette, continue smoking this cigarette, and not realizing that I'm getting used to it. So now all day, while I'm getting agitated, I'm upset, angry, or whatever the case may be, um, I'm just blowing down these cigarettes. But my body is getting used to it. So now what happens is sometimes I had to stop smoking a cigarette for like a whole couple of hours just to get that nicotine feel next time I smoke. But once I start smoking, the smell bothered me. Um, you know, I don't like if I'll smoke a cigarette. If I can smoke a cigarette, I'll smoke it for like a half. I'll smoke a half a cigarette. I can't smoke a whole cigarette because the feeling is like it's weird, you know. Like I got that first two pulls, I'm good. I put the cigarette down. Not gonna lie, I do my little joinkers, you know what I mean. Um, and that helps me smooth out my days. There's days that I could have a hectic day, but sometimes when I do my little the bizzle, I feel calm, you know. But hey, I know people that doesn't do what I do, and they feel calm just by being sober. You know, I give credit for them because they know how to handle life. They know how to escape life from what it is. But there are some of us that can't, and because life is hard. You gotta find something to keep your mind focused. Everything is a drug. You could read a book. You could be addicted to reading. You could be addicted to social media. You could be addicted to gaming, addicted to drugs, food, drinking. And I don't mean just liquor. I'm talking about juice or whatever. Everything becomes a drug. You could even be addicted to driving. I know a guy that is addicted to driving at night and listening to night music. He don't go nowhere else. He just drives on a highway and just plays his music. He's addicted to that. Every day in the mornings he sleeps. He sleeps all the way into at night. He has enough money to travel, to put gas money in his car and whatever, and he just go about his business. But everything is a drug. People are addicted to posting stuff on social media. People are addicted to creating content. We come to reality that whatever that makes you happy, continue on doing as long as it's not destroying you and what you're trying to build. Yeah, continue on. There's people that's addicted to another person, and they can't see themselves being separated from them. Like you got twins that are addicted to each other. They can't go places without the other twin. They can't eat without the other twin. They can't see life without the other twin, you know. But that's life. Anyway, that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and also hit that notification button. Also, jump on my Grace Yella's 45 YouTube channel. That's my couples channel. That's our couples channel. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the night. Some of you guys are, it's the daytime for y'all. This is the morning or the afternoon. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. For my New York people, enjoy the rest of the night. Love y'all. Take good care of yourselves. Um, and man, love, peace and love.